You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Vampire Diaries After Show.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show. Oh, is this the theme song? Oh. Did you know it had a theme song?
No, I really didn't.
I didn't know it did.
Until last year. I think it's Doherty.
Okay.
Chris Daughtry.
Chris Daughtry, yeah.
Daughtry.
Get it right, Jess. Get it right.
I wish I thought of it. Excuse my stuffy nose, but I wish I thought of it to tell her to play Lord A.
Lord, yeah, Royals.
I was surprised that was in there. I mean, they're up on their game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quick with it.
But we are here, finally back. I know you guys are so excited for Vampire Diaries, Season 5, Episode 1.
Woo, 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 woo.
New look, new studio, and we finally have some new hosts. Kristen Snyder will be back with us starting next week, but it's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy, joined in studio by the lovely Roxy Striar.
Hello, so happy to be here.
And the incredible Paige Sullivan.
Yes, hi everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on the show.
I'm excited to get some new opinions in here.
I know, I don't even know how you feel about every character.
I love Kristen, and we go back and forth, but, you know, you kind of get accustomed to somebody, so it's nice to get some fresh blood in here. No. Well, okay, so basically where we left last time is Stefan's locked in a case.
Poor Stefan.
In the water.
Yeah, under
Wait,
the
hold
water.
on. Actually, before we get anywhere, the most important question I have to ask you guys.
What team are we on?
Stelena or Damon?
I loved Damon. I've always been a Damon fan, but I just feel for Stefan right now. So, I don't know.
Damon, 1,000 million bajillion %.
Okay, for you guys, right? No, what about
What
for
do you
Elena?
mean for me, guys?
Like,
No,
'cause
no,
we find
no,
him very
for Elena.
attractive.
No, for Elena, with Elena, Damon.
Really?
Always. Even
Why?
when she was with Stefan since day one.
But why?
I'm just that girl, the bad guy and that whole cliche thing. I'm just that girl.
Okay.
I go back and forth. I mean, season to season, you want Damon, then you want Stefan. It's whoever's really working for Elena at that point in time. And I think it's constantly flip-flopping, so I can't decide.
You got to put in work for your girl.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. I do flip back and forth. However, overall, I want it to be Stefan in the end.
Oh, really?
I understand the love for Damon.
Get ready.
Oh, no, I totally. And trust me, I'm usually the only one on this side. Even our fans call in, and they're totally on Damon's team.
Love you guys.
I just feel like it's like Caroline said last season. Stefan is your epic love.
Okay.
I get where Damon is. To me, Damon is like the kind of love that we all search for. Like, oh, you guys worked hard to get to this place and understanding each other and this friendship. But imagine having that love where it's just like, you know.
No, but here's what I think. I think that Damon is one of those people who couldn't fall for anybody, and I really do think Stefan could fall for multiple people. He has such a big heart, and he has it in him to, as his best friend told him right before she disappeared, she said, there are actually, despite popular belief, multiple the ones. And you just have to go find another one. And I kind of feel like for Damon, there's only one the one, and for Stefan, there are multiple the ones.
Yeah, because Damon has only changed who he is for Elena, whereas
Right.
Stefan changed before he knew Elena. You know, he turned back his humanity on, and he had his feelings prior to meeting her.
Right.
So she's the reason he wants to do things now, but he had other reasons previously. She hasn't always been the reason.
All right.
And I do think because we have Elena and her doppelganger, there's no reason where
There's
should
enough
fight.
Elena
Yeah,
to go
they're
around.
fighting.
Exactly.
So,
Eventually one day.
We talked about a little bit how awkward that Nina and
Ian
broke
I know.
up.
It must be so strange because they were very hot and heavy this whole episode. How do you do that?
Oh, yeah. And they've been dating for such a long time, too. It's not just like it was a little fling and then they broke up. And I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could. So props to them. They really seemed into each other. Maybe there's some unresolved feelings there.
I mean, they're familiar. I'm sure they've been there before. They can reenact it if they have to.
And they're such great actors and actresses.
Yes.
So.
That's what it is.
It's their job. I mean, they get paid to do this job, so.
And probably very, very well.
Yes.
So what did you guys think of the episode? The episode was titled, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it do well for, a first episode?
I thought it was too much going on for a first episode. Not that I'm saying I want to be eased in, but there was just so much going on. So many deaths, so many twists, so many plots. I couldn't stay on track of it all.
I felt very lucky that I had time today to rewatch the season finale, because otherwise I would have watched this and been like, where am I? Who am I? Wait, they graduated?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I kind of think that they wrapped everything up. If you didn't go back and watch, I think at the beginning with the one email that Elena was kind of going
That's
through,
true.
it kind of wrapped everything up. You remember Matt and Rebecca were going on their little
Right.
Rendezvous.
adventure. Tyler, you find out Tyler's in Tennessee. Caroline was at home packing, and then we get Jeremy. Well, he
Who's
was
with
off somewhere.
talking
But
to
he's
Bonnie somewhere.
Talking for Bonnie in the email to Elena.
Right, which was very clever that they did that. And your question was, how do we feel about tonight's episode? I thought it was awesome, is the answer to that. And I think it's a really great setup for the season. And a lot of things didn't go exactly as I planned them to. So, or, not that I planned them
They
to.
never
As she
do what
wanted
they
them
say.
to.
that I thought they would. So I thought it was absolutely a great start to the season. But like you said, there was a lot. They definitely weren't letting you sit back and relax on this one. It was you had to think the entire time.
And you're constantly asking, wait, are they alive? Okay, who's a vampire now?
Yeah,
and who's
yeah.
not a vampire? And where are they? Because not only are there so many doppelgangers now, people are coming and going constantly.
And who's a werewolf and who's a hybrid and
Yeah.
who's gone to the originals and
Who are
who's
these
here.
people that can make eyes turn black all of a sudden?
Oh, yeah, that's a new thing.
Don't even with Nadia's man.
So, all right,
Nadia.
let's start it. We get start with the email to Bonnie from Elena. We find out Tyler is helping a wolf pack in Tennessee. Matt and Rebecca are writing postcards from their traveling, but apparently they ended their travel and they came back.
It was like a no strings attached kind of deal.
I thought the wolf thing was in the Appalachians.
Maybe it is now.
Isn't the Appalachian Mountains go down?
Does it go to Tennessee?
Oh.
Doesn't it?
I'm not good at geography, so I can't help.
Pretty sure.
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I can
I'll give
look
it
up
to you.
on a
I don't
map.
actually know the answer to that.
Our
we could be
viewers
saying
are
the
going to
same
hit
thing.
us on YouTube and be like, "You dumbasses!
Did you graduate from elementary school?
Maybe you
Yeah.
should go to college with
Flying
Elena."
color.
All right, and then we get Matt and Rebecca traveling. We got a clip of them having a little rendezvous with a third partner.
Nadia.
Yeah.
Is that what they call them these days? Your third partner?
third partner?
Ooh.
Well, here in Tennessee.
What would you call it?
A threesome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, okay, yeah, it was a threesome, but
Not really. I mean, Matt was just kind of sitting and watching. It was
Yeah.
more like a
It
Rebecca
really was a
Nadia.
lesbian encounter that Matt was witnessing. Live porn.
there you go. Oh,
Live gay porn.
He seemed to be enjoying himself.
Yeah, it's cool.
I didn't. Okay. Catherine is human.
She looks like a hot mess.
But definitely hot.
Yeah.
Like the mess part too, but definitely still girls got it going on.
My thing is,
It's hard not
what
to.
were you doing all summer? Like just running the streets and not combing your hair?
No, she's not used to the cars are coming by and she's not used to not getting hit by them or stepping back. So she's just kind of a mad person. And she's hiding from all her enemies because nobody knows that she is human now.
Right, and it's really hard to run in heels.
But how hard is it to brush your hair? I mean, that is like a nest on the side of her
I'm gonna
head.
let you know that it's really hard. I try to avoid it as much as possible, okay?
So brushing your hair must be easier as a vampire.
Yeah,
Because her hair was always on point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Remember, and then last season she even had like colored
The
extensions.
red and, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so then we get to a scene of Elena in the bathtub. And Damon and Elena, and they're being cute with each other, and he kisses her. He doesn't want her to go to college. He
I know,
kisses
it's
her,
nice.
he walks away, and then as soon as he walks away, she goes to her phone and she looks up and she wants to call Stefan.
Yeah.
Way to set up the rest of the season.
But that's because
Yeah.
Bonnie planted the seed. Bonnie said in her email, "How Stefan, have you heard from him?" So I think it was one of those, it's weighing on her heart. She's feeling, like Caroline said, she's feeling guilty. She's there making out with his brother in his house, and they have no idea where he is.
I do think at this current moment in time, she's not actively in love with Stefan, but I do think she's very worried about him.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to other moments where I felt that she's actively in love with both of them. Right now, I only think she's actively in love with Damon and concerned for Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actively concerned as to why she's taking a bath in that dirty ass water.
It was like black.
I mean, I don't know whether vampire skin makes things muddy, but that's the only thing I could think
It
of.
looked raunch.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So, but I did love camera work wise when she goes in the water
And then
it goes to
Stefan-
Stefan.
yeah.
Tied to the last comment. Well, it's a for preview for next week where she says Stefan's been talking to me. So I thought that was a
Right.
really cool transition. for
And
them
we
to
see
kinda move
her
forward.
in his dreams, so, maybe they're communicating through that as well.
And he's communicating with Damon as well. So he's trying to just forge any part of himself and stay alive and make it a more bearable situation underwater because he really has no way out at all.
What was that face?
Just
Oh,
my
you're
heart
just
goes out.
worried.
My heart goes out to him a little bit because even though I am Team Damon, I do love Stefan. I just don't want him with our girl. But my heart does go out to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, and people care about him not just, Damon and Elena, but Caroline cares about him, Bonnie, Jeremy. They all have connections to him. It's not just Elena.
Because he's the good guy.
But it's surprising to me that nobody else has reached out to him. Him and Caroline were kind of besties last season, and now...
Or Matt, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Now
understand.
She's like not as worried about
Are you
it. Well,
pissed
she's
about
going
it?
through her own thing.
little.
She's worried about Tyler right now.
Yeah, well, she's always worried about Tyler.
She is holding on to this one little hope that Tyler is her boyfriend. Tyler's my boyfriend. He's my
Okay.
boyfriend. He's my boyfriend. Look at this guy. He's my boyfriend.
She won't even speak to Flyer Guy because she has a boyfriend.
His
or-
name is Jesse.
I'm going to go with Flyer Guy. You could just be a little nice. Even
could
if
make
you have your
friends.
boyfriend.
Make friends.
Well, I think
new
she's
friends but keep
yeah,
the
but
old.
come on. I think she's in a denial stage. I think
Oh,
she's in a
yeah.
place where she knows Tyler's not coming back. She knows this isn't working out with Tyler. Like the day before classes start, he hasn't signed up, enrolled, or done nothing.
She had to apply for him.
Right.
I mean, if you have to do that for someone, then they don't want to be there.
They don't want to do it for themselves. So the girls are in college. I like the roomie setup thing. It's very Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I make a lot of Buffy references. Marissa knows this, and the fans at home know it. Do you guys ever watch Buffy?
Yeah.
I've seen a few
I've seen it.
episodes, but
Totally recommend anybody out there. Again, we're gonna make them.
Especially if you love Vamp Diaries.
If you love Vampire Diaries, go back, watch Buffy, and there's a lot of, because for me, like True Blood and all that, there hasn't been a show on TV that is written as well as Buffy and with the vampire theme. And Vampire Diaries does a really good job, and I love it. But there's lots of things that kind of
Parallel.
are very parallel and very similar. All right, so they're worried about Stefan. Then we find out that there's a third roommate, Megan.
Poor Megan.
Poor Megan.
Who you called very quickly was going to be out of there by the end of the episode.
But only because I know she's on another TV show, so probably wasn't going to work out for her.
I know.
But
You're wicked smart, Jess.
I'm actually wondering about the flyer guy. If he's
I
gonna
think he's
be-
part of it.
Really?
I think I mean, he's one of the first people to make contact with them outside of Megan. He sees them at the party. I mean, there's hundreds of kids running around. Why is he coming up to them? And
Was Flyer Guy flirting with Caroline or
Yeah.
Elena? It was with
Caroline.
Caroline.
So maybe he's the vampire who eats Megan's
I don't know if he's that guy. I just think he's a part of it because they couldn't get into this house. He was the one handing out the flyers for that specific party. Does he live there?
Well,
is
no,
it a
because
frat
he
house?
kind of did invite them in. If he was the owner of the house, he was like, "Are you guys gonna come in?"
I mean, he
That's not
asked,
inviting
but that's not
somebody in,
invite.
though.
He was supposed,
See,
I think he's sitting
though,
there-
Here's the thing about Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries is very loose with their
That's true.
Coming in and not
and just other rules and things like that.
Whether you can suck the blood with vervain in it
Yeah.
or not.
That's our
'cause she was
favorite thing
Drinking
is
the vervain
finding-
water.
And they have
Yes.
parties every week.
Oh,
Right.
gosh.
If you remember, like the
Right.
city, their town of Mystic Falls just has an event every
I was gonna
week.
say, whose town just throws a party for the end of summer, for Founder's Day, for this? It's like, God.
If I was mayor of a town, I'd definitely do that.
Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, everyone's happy. I mean, people are dying in this town, and no
Frequently.
one cares. They're like, screw it, let's drink. It's beer
Hey.
fest.
Yeah, but when they say let's drink in their dorm room, they're talking about blood. Cheers to that.
you know
with
what's so
their
funny
blood.
about that is that was kind of like a little like, oh yeah.
I forgot too.
Jarring, yeah.
Like I know Elena and Caroline are vampires, but I wasn't in that mindset
wasn't ready
until
for
they
it.
cheers that, and I was like, oh, whoa.
Because they were acting like normal college girls. So I was like, oh, they're breaking out like the vodka or something like that. And then because it's so casual, they're like, oh, yeah, blood bags. Like, no big deal.
But it's a real bummer that they can't keep them in the mini fridge.
Well, they can now.
Well, they can now.
Oh, please. In college, they fill that third bed like it's nobody's business. I'm sorry. Your roommate committed suicide. Somebody's in here next week.
But the thing was, she wasn't supposed to be there from the get-go. And so it seems as though she was placed there intentionally.
Specific, yeah.
That's true.
Which is interesting. So then they go into the fridge, and Caroline's having this issue with sharing a room with somebody, which I totally understand. Like, first of all, I'm not a room sharer anyways.
But are you vampire?
I mean, we can't talk about certain things. But, like, she goes into the fridge. She sees protein water, which
It's
it
gross
just sounds
anyways.
gross.
Yeah.
I've never tried it. Have you tried it?
No.
She
Hot
drinks
protein.
it. Well, I know. And then we won't get into that. But it sounds gross. She goes, she drinks it, and she starts burning at the mouth. It's filled with Ravane.
Yeah, I saw that coming the minute she drank it. But my question is, now that things are wrapping up and we're learning more about who Megan is and what Megan does, did she know she was drinking Vervain?
I don't think
I don't think she knew she was drinking Vervain.
Well, no, because otherwise when she came out of the shower and she saw what happened to Caroline, she would have known. Caroline was still holding the bottle.
But she could have just been playing it cool and just being like, oh.
But here's the iffy part about it. Because it's like, I feel like the overall is going to be someone was either protecting her or put her with those two girls because they knew that they would protect her, or good vampires though. But I also thought it was interesting when she came out and saw that Caroline was drinking her water. There wasn't a comment like we just had a conversation about don't touch my shit, and here you are drinking my protein water.
Right, but
and then she took the water back from her.
It's not like, why are you gonna drink that now?
Drink it. Yeah.
the thing that's confusing me the most is the photograph with Megan and Elena's father.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell now because
Well, is it another doppelganger? Is it her father? Is he a vampire?
Is Megan like a
the
half sister?
Yeah. I really don't know. Is the dad actually alive? No, but you know what I mean. Like everything's a possibility on the show.
Right. Yeah. The father could just pop out of them.
Well, he could have just survived the crash.
Yeah, and taught her to put Vervain in every single thing because he knew about vampires or whatnot. Who knows?
So yeah, they go to the party and they can't go inside, which was
Funny
because I didn't even think about these problems that they're gonna keep running into, and they make up this excuse. They walk away. They get a phone call from Megan. She's saying, help, someone's chasing me, come and help me. They see her shadow running through the things. And all of a sudden she drops in front of them. Vampire bites.
Did she fall from the
dorm?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell if it was the
The
party or
tree
the dorm.
yeah, I didn't even know.
Well, I think, no, it was definitely the party because she was in the party. But it was weird that they saw her running through the upstairs.
She landed like behind.
Yeah,
and you didn't hear like a window crash or something, but she just dropped. It was weird.
Right, it was bizarre. I don't know whether we should just look past that and give the show the benefit of the doubt, or whether there's something more to that, like something else was going on in there and she was really elsewhere. And
Yeah, she may have, because they said they found the note in the dorm room. So everybody else is under the impression she jumped out of the dorm room window and not the house or the frat house. So maybe they were already back at the dorm when they were calling her and looking for her, because they left the party.
right.
Well, maybe.
But then it looked like there was a little bit of a party outside the dorm, so
Maybe they're close by.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a
it's
small
college,
campus.
anything's possible.
So then there's so it's some sort of weird setup, which also makes me wonder if it wasn't even a vampire that actually killed her,
I mean,
or if they just
what else
why
could
would
the
you try
neck
to set?
bite be a setup?
Yeah.
I don't know, because if it was an actual vampire, I mean,
did the
like
neck bite get
like you're saying, the show sometimes does miss these things. But if it was an actual vampire and she was really drinking Vervain,
That would affect
the
the
vampire would not have did not want to suck her blood. You know.
But maybe he or she didn't suck her blood. Maybe they bit her, noticed there was Vervain, and do what they normally do and like snap their neck or whatever and kill them a different way. They can still kill her and then toss her out the window. They couldn't drink her blood, but
That's
she's
definitely
dead.
possible, but it seemed to be happening so fast. Chasing me, dead. You know. So,
Yeah. But then,
dead drop.
yeah, she's just done.
so I don't know.
Poor Megan.
All right, well, Megan, great.
But, you know, you
great
can watch her on a
season
different
for
show
me.
if you want.
Yeah,
If you liked her.
she's on Super Fun Night. So going backwards, Katherine shows up to Damon, and she wants protection because she's being followed by someone.
I just don't understand Stefan or Damon's relationship with Katherine. Obviously it's love-hate, but is it really hate? Is it really love? They do protect her.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's like the third sister that they just...
She was the original Elena. I mean, she is who they fought over and brought them together and apart for years. I think when you do finally get rid of Katherine, if that ever happens, it gets rid of a part of them. She's been she's been around from the beginning for them. Mm-hmm. So it's hard, no matter if you like the person or not, it's hard to let them officially go.
And as much as she messes and sucks with, she has helped them.
Right.
On occasion.
And so it's also interesting because now it's like, well, how do you kill someone that you have that much history with and now you know they're human? Which I also kind of thought about this. Interesting that now Elena is vampire, Katherine's human. I wonder if Damon is going to find an attractiveness to Katherine's...
I think more so I could see Stefan, when he comes back, finding an attractiveness to the human.
I can't. I feel like Stefan is so far past the person that Katherine is and her true traits that he would never. But for Damon, I agree. I think he's so much like Katherine that if it ever ended with him and Elena, it'd be very easy for him to go back to her.
Right.
Or not, I guess back to her, but...
It's just such like a mind fuck.
Yeah, it is. It just really is.
And just even within that moment when Katherine first came to him, I don't know, I just kind of got like a weird thing, especially when she asked him that she needed protection. I don't know. And maybe I read into it a little too much, probably, but...
I'm still questioning, why is Jeremy being so okay with the fact she's there when she's the one who killed him?
Again, these are just things that,
But then again, Damon's killed him before, too. I mean, it's just what happens,
Who
I guess.
hasn't killed Jeremy?
Who hasn't killed Jeremy?
You just really can't take that personally, okay? It's not personal.
What I was kind of confused as to was, why did Jeremy get jumped in high school?
I don't know.
Because they think he's weird, but I do not remember things like that in high school. Like, oh, that kid's weird, let's just attack.
No, that happened. Like, I remember I watched, my freshman year, I watched a senior come up to some little poor freshman weirdo and take him and shove him in a locker. That really happened.
I've seen that too, but I mean, Jeremy's walking in these halls like looking diesel.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then the kids that like approached him didn't even look like they look like the nerds.
I thought it was a little weird and unnecessary, and then him getting expelled for that.
I mean, it's a fight.
Confusing.
Yeah, but he also like probably almost killed them.
Like, yeah, but they attacked him.
He was doing ninja moves, like.
Yeah, but everybody else thought it was everybody else was scared of Jeremy, and they're not scared of the other guys.
Right, but obviously there's something. If Jeremy tried to fake his own death and burn down his own house, wouldn't you think the school would think there's something more going on there, and not just like expel him? Then wouldn't they be scared he was gonna go actually kill himself?
No, I think they would be like, "Oh, this man is crazy. Like
we
he
don't want him
to burn his house down, and then he just beat up 2 kids. We don't need him here."
Yeah.
That's probably where the school's meant to
Oh, I think they'd probably be like, honey, you need to get some help.
I'm sure they sent something home in the mail.
Yeah.
To Elena, they did call.
Yeah. I love how they call Damon's house, though. That must be their new permanent residence.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, remember they changed it to being under Elena's name because she didn't have to invite vampires. Yeah.
Yes, and their house is gone now anyways. Their original home.
All right, so now Silas is running around. He shows up as Stefan to this party.
As Stefan and or as himself, because he's claiming that Stefan's his doppelganger.
I know, it's weird, like, me writing it down. I'm like, wait, do I write Stefan,
Yeah,
Silas?
I know.
If I write Silas, am I going to remember? Like, it's really strange. So he sees Mrs. Forbes at the whatever fest to this is.
End of summer festival.
And
yeah, Roxy's freaking out.
Casually sits down, slices her wrist.
No.
Pours it in a styrofoam cup.
She's
just
dying.
lets it,
I don't know, the neck I'm used to, just the wrist dripped in the...
See, I was writing notes, so I didn't even see it. And she's freaking out. I was like, what's happening?
She's like, are you vomiting? I was like, she's just going and going. I'm like, clean her wrist, like, do something. Just like draining one.
And poor Mrs. Forbes, though, she's just taken a beating through all of this. She's being killed. She's being drained of blood. She's constantly being attacked in some form.
Yeah, all the humans are like Matt, Jeremy, Miss Forbes.
They're like, what do we have to do with this?
Poor Tyler's mom.
Oh, so sad.
Bringing that one back.
Yeah.
May you rest in peace.
Yes. Moment of silence.
So he meets up with Damon. And Jeremy's there. He touches Jeremy. Jeremy gets a chill. They find out that, well, Bonnie kind of says, hey, you know what? I can't. There's a bug on the table. All right. But so...
It's a big bug.
Anyways, so...
I'm a little squeamish
Jeremy
these days,
gets
I
sketched
guess.
out. Bonnie kind of says, you know what? When I broke the spell after I died, it must have broke or something.
Right.
So that's definitely Silas.
Which we saw happen. It's just nobody else is aware of it.
Just so bizarre because I go, wow, I thought that was going to take them the whole season to figure out. I thought that was the point of the season, but
I'm so glad it's not.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
He outed himself right away. He
Right.
wants them to know.
Honestly, like, I really hope Silas isn't the main bad guy for the end of this season. I hope just for, like, the first quarter. You know, because we
had all of last season focusing on Silas for a lot of
Right.
it.
Yeah, but it was focusing on him, but he wasn't actually there.
I know, but
And now with the originals gone, or the majority of them gone,
need a big
they
bad.
need a big bad wolf.
I know, but I just wonder how that's going to play because Klaus, we hated him, we loved him, we hated him, we loved him. I just don't feel like we can have that with Silas, so I feel like it can't last as long as
Right.
Klaus did.
And last year, I remember reading something along the lines of they wanted a kind of like a monster of the week
Okay, cool.
type situation, which I think that would be really interesting. Again, brings it back to kind of Buffy-esque, but I'm just the originals. I was over the originals at one point. It was like, okay, we're still on the originals. Now we're still on Silas. So I'm glad that they're rushing it. Hopefully, Stefan does get out that coffin next week.
I think it will.
'Cause
No.
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 Or soon.
I'm hoping within the next 4 episodes, but I don't think next week.
Now, refresh my memory. I can't think why, but why? Well, I guess we don't really know. Silas wants Katherine really bad. I'm trying to figure out.
Because Katherine did something to him back in the day.
But remember, he said to Damon, "Wouldn't it be more fun?"
Right. I think it has something to do with the fact that she took the cure. He wants the cure. The cure's in her blood. I think it has something to do with that.
But he was after her prior to that anyway.
That's true, but now he seems like out for blood, pun intended.
Yes.
Right, and he's been drinking so much blood over the summer that he can control a group of people.
Did he, though, he put Stefan in the water, and I was under the impression he did that so people would believe he was Stefan.
Yeah.
But now he's outing himself right away. So was the point to trade him off for Katherine?
He wanted, yes, that, and he wanted Stefan to suffer as bad as he had for 2,000 years. And yes, he needed leverage.
Yeah. But that blows my mind because the people who are constantly suffering are suffering for other people's mistakes. Stefan didn't put Silas there.
But Silas also says that Stefan is his true form, that is his doppelganger. So that is who he had to appear as if he was appearing as himself.
Right, because the punishment was that someone would be on the earth
that could be killed.
Crazy. So at the end, Silas goes up to the podium. Poor Bonnie's dad. He controls the whole group of people and basically tells them not to move and to look for Katherine.
And yeah, not to move, not to make a sound.
And then slices Bonnie's dad's neck.
Poor Bonnie. Even in death, she can't catch a break.
Do we think that Silas can see Bonnie or no?
No. He didn't seem to even notice she was on the stage when she was screaming and crying. So,
which will be a really interesting tool for them.
For Jeremy.
For all of them, because, Jeremy will have to be the communicator.
Right,
now,
but none of them know yet.
If they're going to be able to bring Bonnie back in some way.
Well, how did she even bring Jeremy back? It was like this random twist at the end of it. She's like, I made the spell and it worked.
But because she brought him back, she
had to go.
Died.
Right, so I kind of think like the only way, I think they're tied to each other. Maybe if he goes, she can come back.
Or unless there's a new witch in town who knows how to do something. Bonnie didn't.
She might have to go to...
Maybe there will start to be some hybrid...
Visit Klaus.
Hybrid witch, hybrid with something else.
Well, and, speaking to that, so while Matt's at the festival, he sees Nadia. And she calls him over and
what the
has
hell
a brief
is
conversation. He says, hey, you robbed us. And she said, I want to give you this ring back.
It wasn't mine to take.
Mm-hmm. Now, thought it was really interesting. She made sure she put it on his finger before the guy came and did whatever he did, turned his eyes black. Now, see, the only reference I can make for that is from watching Heroes, the TV show, in which when that happened, they died. So I wonder if they needed to kill him to read his memory. It looked like they were reading memory, and then she put the ring on because the ring's going to save him and he won't be dead.
But so his eyes went black though, and then they came back while they were open the whole time. So I mean, he's dead. He'll come back. But it just, I just don't know what they're getting from him because he's not a vampire. He's not a werewolf. He's not a hunter. He's nothing.
And he's usually out the loop anyway.
Yeah,
so
he's
probably
been
the worst
gone.
person to.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the thing is, if they just wanted to see what would happen if somebody would come back, they would have put it on one of somebody else's fingers. You know, why did it have to be his finger specifically? What do they want out of Matt specifically?
Did they target them in, I think they said they were in France when they met Nadia. Did they target Matt and Rebecca? Did they know Rebecca was a vampire and Matt was something? Maybe she
or
saw
even
his
more
ring.
so that Rebecca was an original.
Yeah. Like, do they know? But
And this could tie to the original. This plot may not even be a Vampire Diary plot. They could take this and be like, okay, well, we know Rebecca is Klaus's sister. We want to find Klaus.
But it would blow my mind that Rebecca would have no idea who this girl is, seeing as she is an
That's
original and she's been around for so long.
Right.
And she can sense other beings. So
Yeah.
maybe they're gypsies.
Yeah,
or...
there could be something completely different we've never met before.
This is going to have to be one of those we wait and see because I don't think we're guessing this one right.
No, they're actually my favorite part of the episode because it just really kind of came out of nowhere and it added a little more mystique.
You
to
love
the whole-
those, huh, moments?
I'm a
Yeah.
big
Okay,
fan of those. So basically where we are now is Stefan is going through this, he's hallucinating but he's underwater still, and he's kind of fighting back and forth whether he should have his emotions on or off.
Is it, yeah, I guess it's a hallucination, but do we call it just that, or is it dreams, or is it really him connecting somehow with the outside world? Because I feel like he really is speaking to them, because we hear Caroline say to Elena, you've been dreaming about Stefan, and if we haven't seen her dreams yet, but if her dreams are exactly what he's seeing as well, then really it's...
And don't you think it's weird
form
though
of
that none of
communication.
them have talked? Like Elena and Damon haven't been like said something like, "Oh my god, I keep dreaming about Stefan every night. Like it's the same dream over and over."
But is Damon having these dreams, or is it just Elena? Because
That's what I'm
Damon
trying to
hasn't
figure
alluded
out.
to the fact that he has felt any connection to Stefan
Right.
at all. So it's just Elena who's feeling it.
Well, from what we know, he hasn't said
Yes.
otherwise either, but I think that either of them, whether they are feeling it, if they're feeling it, they're kind of nervous to tell the other person. Elena telling Damon would mean her
No-go.
saying that, yeah, no go, exactly. And Damon telling Elena, he knows that she would get nervous and go looking for Stefan, and he's probably scared crapless.
Do you think it's weird that Damon hasn't gotten to the point yet? I mean, 3 months and his brother hasn't contacted or nothing.
They've went longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've gone years without talking to each other.
Yeah, but
In the lifespan of a vampire,
I
3
guess
months
3
is
months
nothing.
That's true.
They've been around for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing to them.
That's true. You're right.
I'm glad we could come to that
I'm
conclusion,
glad we
team.
did, yeah. So Stefan's hallucinating, and as far as with Damon and Stefan, Damon, Stefan, and Elena, getting back to our little triangle situation, who do you think is going to? Oh, we have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey guys, it's Jillian.
Jillian. Jillian is a very loyal fan of ours.
Hi, Jillian.
And of
my middle
Vampire
name.
Diaries. Jillian, tell us about what you thought of the episode. What do you want to talk about?
Oh man, it's good to be back. Team
Yeah.
Elena prevails.
Very true.
Yes.
How did you feel about this
Sorry, Becky.
actual episode?
I actually liked it. I mean, I'm so jealous of Elena and Caroline's dorm room. It's ridiculous.
Oh my
Right?
God. Agreed.
Mine
I did
didn't.
not live like that.
Not at all.
Mine was like
I was
not
in
even
a
half.
sardine can with 2 other roommates.
Ugh.
That grew mold and had cockroaches right there with you, girl.
Oh, we had stink bugs.
Ooh.
How did you? That was awesome. What were your thoughts on? What are your thoughts on the whole Megan plot?
I would have been, if I were her, I would have been really like thrown off by how aggressive Caroline was with like making the ground rules.
Yeah, but Caroline was like that before she was even a vampire.
Yeah, she has a very strong personality. I think it's hard to tone that down, no matter what.
No, I know, but like, it's, oh, we're gonna do the college thing. We want to have the college experience. We're gonna go to parties and go to class and we. It's like the second or third roommate gets thrown in, she's back to season 1 Caroline, and it's just like, whoa, okay, are you intentionally trying to scare the girl off now?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it though. Caroline is a paranoid girl, and she's very anal about certain things, and she's a vampire. So for this girl who knows nothing about her and Elena's connection, you know what I mean? Would you want to walk around your own bedroom and not being able to pull your blood out when you want to pull your blood out? You know what I mean? It's just kind of, I get what she's, I get her anger.
I think that when you have a new roommate, even if they seem a little quirky at first, like there's some stuff off, you just want to make friends and you just want to be liked. So even though Caroline came off a little loopy, I'm sure that the new roommate was just rolling with the punches.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about actually, let's talk about the end where Caroline gets the phone call from Tyler.
No, he's not coming back.
Bye-bye, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler.
Oh, so no love lost there.
No, I mean, I got annoyed with Tyler.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that they wrote him off was pretty nice.
I agree. I think we were all kind of rooting for Caroline and Klaus last season. Even though we didn't like Klaus really, Tyler's never there. He's never there to help her. He's never there to support her. He's just a person we allude to, but how often do you see him?
Right, and I actually really like Tyler. I just don't love Tyler and Caroline. And for similar reasons that I like Elena and Damon together, I really do like Caroline and Klaus.
Yeah.
And I have heard multiple rumors that Caroline may be switching over to the originals, which would give all of us Caroline Klaus fans a lot of hope that they could be together. However, it would give us Vampire Diary fans a little bit of a hard time without our girl.
Yeah. How would you feel
I
about
don't know how that would work.
I don't know. I mean, with Tyler out of the picture, she can kind of do what she wants.
Do you guys really see the dorm situation working out for a long time?
No. I honestly don't see them staying at college.
Yeah, I don't either.
But meanwhile, we know that it's worked before with Stefan and Damon. They've gotten multiple degrees from many different schools, so it's possible.
It's possible, but they weren't going to school together. And they didn't have their family being threatened back at home and having a threat of other vampires at school. They were always the head honchos. They were compelling everybody around them.
Right.
That's not happening.
That's a good
Well,
point.
did Damon ever actually attend college, or did he just go to college parties and
I think the
fight
second.
college
That's another good point.
I just found cheerleaders. and
Another good point.
Bang them. Bit them and bang them.
The bite and bang, classic.
Yeah.
Classic Damon.
Well, where do you see Bonnie going, Jillian? Where do you see Bonnie's storyline going? Do you kind of think she's gonna fade out?
I think it depends on her relationship with the producers, because I remember there being rumors last season of her not really getting along with the producers so well and wanting to go do her music thing. They might keep her around in like the ghost form for at least a little while. I think that, like I said with Jeremy, if they can bring her back, they will bring her back. I just
really hope
don't
they
know
do.
how that would work, because they don't really have a witch in the fold anymore.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, and that bothers me.
Yeah, all the witches are on the originals now.
That won't last long, though. There'll be somebody.
I don't know. I
It's
don't
gonna
see
get tied that closely to that group, you know. Like we lost Bonnie. If we lose Caroline, like we lost Tyler or we lost Klaus, we're losing a lot of Vampire Diary people. Like, what is the
but
story
we're-
gonna be
yeah.
about?
We're gaining some new ones.
Who?
We gained Nadia. We gained whoever that guy was who helped Nadia. and
hoping that they're good.
now we've gained Silas.
But you say gain in the way that they've been added to the show, but as a fan favorite, people like Bonnie.
Yeah.
People want Bonnie and Jeremy to succeed. They like Caroline. They want her to finally be happy. So for them to let them go, it would have to be either they found their happy place in a place where they're safe and we don't have to worry about them anymore, or I think they have to stay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's a clean break there.
I think that Elena, Damon, Stefan, and Katherine are the characters that nobody's willing to lose. And
Right.
other than that, unfortunately, a lot of people are expendable. And that doesn't mean that I don't love Matt. That doesn't mean that I don't love Tyler. That doesn't mean I didn't love Klaus or Rebecca or anybody else. I just think when you look at the log line of the show, it's two brothers fall in love with the same girl. That's the log line.
I definitely don't see. I definitely can see Matt not being on the show for too much longer.
I feel like he's lasted a long time anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have been gone seasons ago. And he should have, not that he should have been gone, but with his luck, he should have been gone seasons ago.
Yeah, but they need the token human.
Yes, they do. And Jeremy's no longer solely a human.
Right.
So that takes
Yeah, I was
him out.
confused about that. Is he a hunter? Is he not a hunter? Or is he just like badass?
He's a hunter.
He's a hunter. He said it today.
I mean, yeah, he referenced his tattoo arm again today, so I think that there's something supernatural about him, but not exactly sure in what way, and especially now that he's not wearing his ring that he gave Matt,
Right.
maybe he'll want that thing back.
He's a hunter.
Here's the thing, though, because Bonnie was the one that told him that, quote-unquote, Stefan was Silas. I thought that he might have just been making up the thing about, oh, you know, I felt the chill of my tattoo or whatever, as a way of getting around having to tell Damon about Bonnie.
I don't think so, because the second that Silas touched his skin, he made that face, like, ooh, that cold face, and then Bonnie said something after that.
Well, and then not only that, but Jeremy said, you know, our sole purpose is to kill Silas.
Right.
Yeah, and the difference is when he first became a hunter, he was constantly trying to kill all of the other vampires. He has that under control now and can be around Damon, Elena, whoever. So he's definitely transformed from the typical hunter stereotype that we met last season, but he still is a hunter and he still is kind of supernatural.
So, all right, we're actually not going to cover the originals this week because, lo and behold, it's the same episode that we covered last season. So if you guys want to go back, you guys can check out Vampire Diaries Season 4 of AfterBuzz TV on iTunes. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast, as well as subscribing, leaving us a comment, rating us 5 stars. And then making sure you guys check out The Adventures of Serial Buddies on iTunes and also on DVD. But I do want to talk a little bit about the originals.
Okay. So
Jillian, and I want Jillian, you to stay on the phone because I know you watched the episode. So, Roxy, what did you get from the new scenes that were added? That was added. At
honestly, it was really confusing for me, and maybe this is my memory, but as I was watching it, it took me about 5 minutes to realize, I think I've seen this episode before. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I know I have. But then there were some scenes I'm like, did I know that? Some scenes I didn't. And even when we find out that Klaus's baby is being carried in Haley, which I know we knew before, it seems like a whole different revelation. And everybody on Twitter is going nuts about the ending. And there's this whole big thing between Klaus and Marcel, and now they're teaming up together, I guess, or at least Klaus is pretending to be cool with Marcel, and I know that they're probably going to end up being enemies. So, I don't know. The one thing that was very different was the ending of that episode. We see that there's this woman or this younger girl standing by the window, and she has another woman in there who's watching in her, and the older woman's like, listen, Marcel doesn't want you standing by the window. And she's like, I'm going to stand by the window anyway, and like looks out, and the older woman's like pissed off at her, and I have no idea who that character is or what's going on there, but somebody's being locked in somewhere and not supposed to see the sunlight.
Jillian, what did you think of the episode?
And that's that.
And that was the originals.
As told by Roxy Striar.
I only actually got about halfway through, but I can see where, basically, look at tonight's episode as, like, the director's cut of what they showed last season of Vampire Diaries. I think that last season, they really hit us with the major plot points. Everything else was kind of a filler / little bit of foreshadowing to what might happen. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the pilot
Really?
last season. Yeah, I know. You got mad at me last season, too, for that.
Actually, I remember. You're refreshing my memory now. In other words, Jillian, get off the line. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Will
really
you be
like-
watching it, though?
I might. I mean, it's going to be... I might watch it just to be able to tweet into you guys, but with my school schedule this year, I'm not going to be able to stay on to call in.
Oh, I feel you.
For that show, unfortunately. But, I mean, I might watch it. I don't know.
think they're going to have a
haven't
lot of
decided yet.
jumping back and forth.
I do
Right. And honestly, I really enjoy the originals as a group of people, and I'm glad that they're breaking off because I didn't like how much airtime they were taking away from my Vampire Diaries, and now I like that they have their own show and I can just enjoy it separately.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm really glad, and because now I get 2 hours a week instead of 1. So it's a win for me. The other point that I don't remember them making, but maybe this is something that they said, is that the witches can't leave New Orleans anymore because apparently they would lose all of their power. So maybe that has something to do with the fact that none of those witches are going to Vampire Diaries and
Mystic
maybe
Falls.
to Mystic Falls, and maybe we're losing them.
I don't know.
It probably has also something to do with how Marcel can tell if they're doing magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what sorcery we're going to get from the originals. Jillian, for everyone at home, Jillian is a huge fan of the show and live tweets before I can live tweet, so I cannot tweet with Jillian. But if you guys want to tweet with Jillian live while watching Vampire Diaries, Jillian, what's your Twitter handle?
I'm at Jillian Swan, and that's Swan with 2 N's.
All right. Thank you, Jillian, for calling in. Make sure you keep in contact with us and call us later in the season. And good luck
Yeah,
in
I actually
school.
got a question for you guys.
Oh,
We
yeah?
can talk about it after I leave. It's fine. I don't know if you already covered it. The live stream has been down. But why do you guys think that Silas is going after Katherine?
Oh, we did touch base
Yeah,
on that.
we did talk about it a little bit, and I think that one of the reasons that you were talking about how he's always been going after Katherine. So for that reason, and also I had mentioned maybe something having to do with the fact that she did drink the cure, and somehow it's in her blood. She mentioned that she was nervous to be killed because she didn't think she'd actually ever become a vampire again.
hit me
So
right now.
there's something about her that's different. She's not just an alive human. She has this cure somewhere in her blood, and I think that somehow he thinks he'll be able to use it. Something on that.
Okay, yeah,
vein.
that makes sense.
What do you think?
But I couldn't remember Silas always being after Katherine because we only had him for like 2 episodes.
Well, she alluded to the fact that she'd been running from Silas for years, and that if he got out, she'd be done for.
What was
Oh, okay. I thought she was running away from Klaus.
Well, Klaus as well. I mean, nobody really likes Katherine, apparently.
She's made quite a few enemies over the years.
She's just a paranoid human now. All right. But
Yeah, and how the hell Damon is supposed to protect her, I have no idea.
You can't.
No idea. All right, but Jillian, thank you for calling in. And on that note, we're going to head into predictions.
Oh, no cue music? Marissa.
All right, so
Just kidding, girl.
it's one of those days.
It's so one of those days, except for this made it so much better.
Yes,
The
it
search for Stefan next week. How long do you think we're actually going to get before Stefan's out the box? Do you think it'll be next episode?
I'm giving it 4.
4.
I think next week or the week after. I think it's too long underwater. What are we just going to keep seeing him trying to communicate, keep seeing him drowning? How long can they do that?
Yes, because I think that they think we're getting our Stefan fix with Silas.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I am. I'm saying I think
I'm
they
not.
think that. I think we're gonna have about 4 episodes. I think that something to do with him being able to communicate with Elena is how they're gonna find him and get him out. But I do think it's gonna take a little longer than 1 more episode.
Do you think it's a connection with just Elena or with Elena and Damon?
I'm not sure.
Because if it's just Elena, that to me screams something about their connection.
I'm
Right.
not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm going to say, I'm actually with you. I'm going to say 3rd episode it's going to be.
Okay, she said next episode. You said 3rd
she said
episode.
I
next
said next
one or
or
the
third.
one.
I just
So-
don't think they can do it for 4.
I'm giving you 2.
I think
you're
the next
3, I'm
one's
4.
Okay, here's
Yeah,
what it is.
we'll
I
do
think
that.
next week they're going to go for the search and they're going to get right to the point of
Cliffhanger.
something and then it'll be in the 3rd
No, I
episode.
think next week we've got a little more memories, and they're finally realizing they can communicate. 3rd episode, they go for the search. 4th
Then
episode, they
something
get it.
happens. Silas is going to
Bum,
stop
bum,
them.
bum.
And it's going to really be 12 episodes.
Oh God, could you imagine?
And what's gonna happen with Jeremy? This poor kid. He's only 3 days suspension, I guess. So
Yeah, and he's alive, so.
He'll be back in
Kids,
school next episode.
Yeah.
On that note, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys check us out on iTunes. If you guys want to see the episode for the originals, you guys can check us out on iTunes and go back to the originals episode here on AfterBuzz. You guys can keep the conversation going with us all week long. You can tweet me at DJ Jesse J.
At Roxy Striar.
And at Paige Song.
Till next week, same time, same place. Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
So buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.